Chairs No Waiting, episode number 783, Ellie for Council Review. Two Chairs No Waiting is brought to you each week by the folks over at weaversdepartmentstore.com. Drop by over at Weavers, all kinds of great new items. One of them is a Mayberry Park wooden ornament. It looks like a state park sign. It says Mayberry, North Carolina. It's really cool. You can check that out, and while you're there, you might want to check out the Mayberry tote bag. It's a canvas tote bag with all kinds of Mayberry-related items on the front of the bag. Definitely something you want to check out. Head over to Weavers and check it out, and check out all the discontinued items. Get them while they're still available. Two Chairs No Waiting is also brought to you by donations from listeners like you. The executive producer of episode number 786 is Rebecca Spears. Thank you, everybody, for being here with me. I am Allan Newsome, your host, and it is always fun to be here in Mayberry and talking about stuff. This week, we're heading back to talk more about episodes of the Andy Griffith Show that, I guess we kind of do that every week. But, this year I've been kind of focusing on trying to do each episode individually. So, and we're not doing too good. We're only up to about the 12th episode. I'm not really rolling through these very fast. Now, this was, as I said, the 12th episode, filmed, but it was the 10th episode aired, actually. So we'll go with that. We'll say it's the 12th episode filmed, 10th episode air of the Andy Griffith Show. It's called Ellie for Council. Now, the name of the podcast this week is Ellie for Council Review. And the reason that is because episode number, what episode was it? 674 that I did back on March 1st of 2022 was called Ellie for Council. So I don't remember even what I talked about in that episode. So you might want to go back and check that one out after you listen to this one to see what I said different, because I almost guarantee you there was something different. And I don't know if I actually said the episode number right. This is episode number 786, Ellie for Council Review. I might have said 783 because that's what's written in my show notes. Anyway, let's get this show on the road. I'm going to get us a little background music going so that you'll have, something to kind of drown out me talking all the time. So I want to thank the VW boys for this banjo melody that we're going to play just a little bit low in the background. Now, again, this is episode Ellie for Council, and it was the 10th episode aired, the 12th episode filmed, just in case you don't know that. Now, another thing you should know is this information, if you want to go and check it out later, most of the information I'm going to give you can be found at the Mayberry Historical Society. You go to mayberry.info, and when you go there, you can click on the episode guide, and from the episode guide, you can go straight to season 1 and to Ellie for Council. All kinds of information there about this particular episode. Okay, so you can go and do that. It's all about Miss Ellie. That's right. Miss Ellie herself is what this one's about. This was originally aired on December the 12th, 1960. It was written by Jack Ellison and Charles Stewart and directed by Bob Sweeney. So just a brief overview. Ellie runs for office, breaking the Mayberry tradition of what had been an all-male town council. Once again, Andy learns a lesson from Opie when he hears his own words about, anti-woman opinions, parroted by Opie. And Andy realizes the error of his ways and then speaks in favor of Ellie, rallying the citizens to her side. Okay, so y'all have to know all this stuff. If you're watching or listening to this podcast, you already know all of this stuff. So let's get into the plot a little bit more. So basically, after learning that the town council was composed completely of men, no women had ever been on the town council, or even considered for that matter, Ellie decided to throw her hat into the ring, and her entry into the race was to the astonishment of every man in town, including Andy. And if you remember, they went to a picnic, and she's reading in the paper, finds out some of this kind of information. Andy's like, oh. So Anyway, so basically they're out there having a good time at the picnic when Ellie decides she could run for office, basically. Andy thinks that's a silly idea, it's really a very, if you look at it from the wrong way, it's a very sexist episode, but it was very, I guess, realistic of the time, that men tended to think women shouldn't worry themselves with that kind of stuff. That was men's jobs. They'll take care of it. But it's very actually progressive episode in the sense that they changed their mind and moved away from that. So for an episode of a comedy series, this was a pretty hard topic to be going into. Despite the men's best efforts, Ellie gets on the ballot, and she actually has a decent chance of winning this race. So the men come up with the scheme, to force their wives to give up their support of Ellie, because all the ladies were really liking her. Thinking, well, it's about time we had a woman. There's all those kind of conversations going on from everybody from Aunt B to Otis's wife. Everybody was talking about this, right? So the men came up with the idea to try to stop this and slow it down. And basically they turned off the credit at the stores for all their wives, so they couldn't buy anything. So, and of course that quickly backfires because the women have a plan of their own, which basically ends up turning into a full-blown battle of the sexes. And it becomes clear that things are really getting out of hand. When Ellie withdraws her candidacy, and Opie boldly announces that the men showed those women who was really boss. Remember that? Well, Andy heard what he was saying, realized, as I said at the beginning, the error of his ways and how what he was saying really was affecting his son. Because Opie says it really, the men showed those women who's really boss. So Andy fixes his anti-female attitude and sets out to make amends. And in the end, at the rally there in town, he says good things about Ellie. And it's revealed in the epilogue of the episode, which a lot of people never see because it doesn't get shown on television a lot, that Ellie won her election, and Andy is talking with her there. And so anyway, that's what happened. So Ellie won the election, and then later episodes we see her sitting on the town council as a member of the Mayberry Town Council. So, all right. So that's the plot. That's what happens. I can't really give you any more information because that's what, I could give you the whole episode, but couldn't you just go watch it? So let me run through a few odd facts known by a few. So this episode was the first appearance of Barney's girlfriend, Hilda May. It's the first time she appeared in the series. Hilda May's first appearance. Otis Campbell's wife, Rita, she appears for the first time as well in this episode. So if you'll remember, the funny part about this whole thing about Otis's wife, Otis was in jail at the courthouse. If you'll remember, he was there in jail, and he was in jail for not drinking, which is the thing he's always in jail for, right? No, in this one, it looks like, anyway, that he was in jail for assault. That's right. So what happened was, and maybe I don't think he had been drinking. I don't think that's what happened at all. He got in a fight with his wife, Rita, who I just mentioned, his first appearance on this episode. And Otis tries to hit her with a leg of lamb, but he missed. Yeah, but I hit her mother right in the mouth. That's what he says. Andy says, I missed her, but you hit her mother. Yeah, right in the mouth. And so if you'll remember, right after that, Barney comes walking and says, oh, hey, Otis. Oh, hey, I just saw your mother-in-law coming out of the dentist. That's one of the best scenes. I love that scene. Yeah, right in the mouth. He was so happy. Anyway, so this was the first time we heard or saw Rita, Otis's wife. Otis is the only time that he was actually jailed for something other than drunkenness. So I thought that was kind of neat. So actress Mary Treen was Rose, if you'll remember. She appeared as Sam's wife in this episode. So Sam was the man who, he was mad at Barney because if you remember, it took 100 signatures to sign the petition for Miss Ellie to be able to run for office, and she got 100. Well, Barney had signed it, and if you'll remember, it was like, well, if he hadn't got, well, Andy, I wasn't the 100 signature. I was the very first. He was the first person to sign it. And Sam was calling him, you weak-kneed little. Basically, it was this, what man would vote for a woman? That's what Barney said. And Sam said, the same weak-kneed, little-livered, yellow-streaked turncoat that would sign a petition. And Barney says, I'm just waiting for you to go too far. So that was Sam. If you remember, he was eventually Mr. Foley, but in the first episode, he was Rose's husband-to-be in that episode as well. So you see them again in this episode, but this time his name's Sam, which is different than the name from the first episode. And she was Rose in that first episode, but she's Sam's wife in this one. She's, that's who she plays. So she was in the very first episode of the News Housekeeper, Mary Treen was. And she's back for this episode, but as a completely different character, and her husband's a different character as well. I mean, same person, but a different character. So I thought that was kind of interesting. All right, so there's an actor named Forrest Lewis. Now, you may not remember who he is, but in this episode, he plays a angry citizen. Angry citizen, I think, is what he plays. But he appeared 7 episodes of the Andy Griffith Show, but most famously, he was, at least from my opinion, the one that we remember the most. He appeared as Cy Huggins, the owner of Jimmy the Goat. Now you can see him. I'm showing a picture here of him, and you can see him right in the middle of the crowd. That's him there, and he is in this episode. He's in 7 episodes of the series. But I think he's Cy Huggins even in this one. But I don't know if he's called a different name in this one or not. But there he is. He's in this episode. There is a TV guide that appears during this episode. It features Lucille Ball on the cover. And you can see it for sale in Walker's Drugstore. It also will appear numerous times during the season, the first season. And it sits among the stuffed animals, and it's also found near the safety razors. It's found all over the store, so be watching for that. This was an authentic issue of TV Guide. It was dated from October 9th, 1954. And remember, this episode aired December the 12th, 1960. So it was a fairly old copy of the magazine, even at the time. But there it was for us all to see. So those are little odd facts known by a few for you to kind of look at and check out. Now, again, if you can't remember these things, you can head over to Mayberry.info and look at the episode guide, and then go into the episode list. All this information, which I just updated today, is all there, including a complete list of all the cast members that appeared in this episode and what their character name was, plus a couple of links, including a link to the episode number 674, Ellie for Council, that I did back in March of 2022. So you can go and check out that episode and see what I did different in that one versus this one, which I'm sure I did something different. I'm sure it's different. So go check it out. All right. So guys, that is all I really have for you about that, except this week's episode trivia is going to come to you from MeTV, and it is all about this exact same episode of the Andy Griffith Show. So we're going to play it together. So if you are ready, we're going to get our trivia music ready. There we go. Our trivia music is ready. There'll be a link in our show notes to this trivia contest if you'd like to go and play it as well. But it's over on MeTV, and it's what they call a daily Andy Griffith quiz. This one is about Ellie for council. Okay, so we're hoping you paid attention to the episode, and we're going to go straight into the questions. So question number 1, these are multiple choice, so you'll have a chance, and you'll see if I miss one. So I'm going to answer them along with you so I can give out the correct answers. All right, so here's the question. Number 1, the finish line. If you eat any more, you'll swell up so tight. So this is what this is saying. What finish this line? Finish the line, okay? If you eat any more, you'll swell up so tight, your hair will fall out, your freckles will fall off, or you're liable to pop. Okay, what is the answer? Finish the line. If you eat any more, you'll swell up so tight, your hair will fall out, your freckles will fall off, or you're liable to pop. All right, so just think about your answer. I'm pretty sure I know the answer, and we're going to go with it right now. Your freckles will fall off. So Andy told that to Opie when they were at the picnic. That's when that was. So if you eat any more, you'll swell up so tight your freckles will fall off. Okay, that was the answer. Folks in the chat room, we're getting it. Great job in the chat room. Question number 2. What is the name of Barney's girlfriend in this episode? Now, come on, I just gave you that answer. Was it Rosemary? Was it Thelma Lou? Or was it Hilda May? So I gave you that answer moments ago. So I'm going to assume you know this one. What was the name of Barney's girlfriend in this episode? The answer? Yeah, you're right. It's Hilda May. Hilda May. Her first appearance, by the way, it was for Hilda May. I kind of rhymed that, didn't I? Okay. Number three. Opie asked Aunt B to go on a walk to look for which kind of animals. Now, we didn't talk about this. So these are the multiple choices. Opie asked Aunt B to go on a walk to look for which kind of animals? Which animals? Gophers, groundhogs, or jackalopes? Okay, what kind of animals did he want to go look for? He asked Aunt B to go with him on a walk. They were at the picnic. What kind of animals were they looking for? Gophers, groundhogs, or jackalopes? The answer, and the chat room is giving me the answer, is gophers. Gophers. That's right. Good job, chat room. Thanks for making sure I didn't say groundhogs, because it's possible. It's possible. All right. Next, number 4. What words repeated use gets Andy in trouble with Miss Ellie? What words repeat use gets Andy in trouble with Miss Ellie? Now I kind of said this one too. Was it silly, spinster, or girly? Girly. I'm pretty sure they didn't use that word back then. That's got to be a new word. The girlies. I've heard that now. All right. What words repeated use gets Andy in trouble with Ellie? If you don't know the answer, that's just plain silly. Silly is the answer. That's right. Silly is the answer. Chat room is getting it right. If you'd like to join in with our chat room, we record these shows normally on Monday nights at 8 p.m. Eastern Time. You can join us at live.2chairsnowaiting.com and be a part of the chat room where there's about 29 or 30 folks in there right now. Number 5. There's 10 questions, by the way. Number 5. To whom does Andy read a first draft of his apology letter? He keeps calling Ellie silly. So, to whom does Andy read the first draft of his apology letter? Did he read it to Barney, Opie, or Otis? To whom does Andy read his first draft of his apology letter? Barney, Opie, or Otis? So I'll give you the answer. No, 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 Andy. Don't never apologize to a woman. If you got a problem, you stand up and fight it out. Well, fighting it out's what got you in jail, Otis. So it was Otis. It was Otis is who he read the apology letter to. So good job if you got that. Okay, number 6. What pet does Barney reluctantly cite as reason for signing? Oh, what pet name? I'm sorry, I didn't read it. I was wondering what pet. What's that? What pet name does Barney reluctantly cite as a reason for signing Ellie's petition? So remember, he signed it. Very first one. He was the very first one. What pet name does Barney reluctantly cite as the reason for him signing Ellie's petition? Was it pumpkin pie, cream puff, or snickerdoodle? What pet name did Hilda May call him? All right. Was it cream pie? I'm sorry, pumpkin pie, cream puff, or snickerdoodle? So the answer is cream pie. It was cream pie. She got him. She suckered him right in with that one. All right, number 7. All right, number 7. There's 10 questions here. What threat do the men enact to further their cause? What threat do the men enact to further their cause? Man, I cannot talk. Was it the charges accounts just stopped charging? The checking accounts just stopped checking? Or the credit accounts done gone, got up and left for fairer climates? Well, that's all right. What threat do the men enact to further their cause? Charge accounts just stopped charging, checking accounts just stopped checking, or credit accounts got up and left for fairer climates. Whew, that is too hard. So I think the answer is the charge accounts just stopped charging, and that is correct. That is right. So there we go. Folks in the chat room are getting it. Thank you. Hope you got that one, even with my poor reading. All right, number 8. Number 8. Which of these places of business was not a battlefront in the men's campaign? Was it the hat store, the shoe store, or the hair salon? Which of these places, these businesses, was not a battlefront for the men's campaign? A hat store, a shoe store, or a hair salon? Oh, this is a little tough one. There's folks in the chat room getting more than one question, more than one answer. So how do you do here? Okay, which one of these places, I'll give you the answer, or I'll try, these businesses was not a battlefront, which means wasn't part of the store? Hat store, shoe store, or hair salon? I believe the answer is hair salon. And that is correct. Hair salon. Whew. Because the hat store, one of them was in a hat store, one of them was shoes. That's what we saw. All right, number 9. 2 questions left. Here we go. Which of these did Andy sing on the porch that night? Which of these songs, okay, did Andy sing on the porch that night? Time for men to shut their mouth. Time for me to shut my mouth. Times are a-changing, heading south. Which of those songs? Which of those songs did Andy sing on the porch? Was it time for men to shut their mouth? Time for me to shut my mouth? Or times are changing, heading south? The answer? Time for me to shut my mouth. Time for me to shut my mouth. Time for me to shut my mouth. Or give up and leave the South. Wasn't that what it was? I think that's right. I think that's right. All right, number 10. Number 10. Here we go. Last question. Where is Barney sporting lipstick at the episode's end? Where's Barney sporting lipstick at the episode's end? Was it on his lips, his neck, or his cheek? Ooh, this is a little harder. Where was he sporting lipstick at the end of the episode? Was it his lips, his neck, or his cheek? Okay, the chat room is saying his cheek. That's what I think I'm going to go with. What are you going with? The answer is his cheek. Yes. Good job, chat room, and good job. That's 10 questions. How did you do? How did you do, Mrs. Wiley? How did you do with this? And thanks to the folks over at MeTV for this wonderful quiz. Again, you can go check it out, the daily Andy Griffith quiz. You'll be able to check that out over on MeTV and see it if you'd like to. You can go check that out. A link will be in our show notes as you if you'd like to check them out and play it again. So 10 out of 10. How did you do, folks? Did you get all 10? When I took it earlier before the show, which, the bad part is I almost missed some of the same questions. I think I got 8 of 10 is what I got. So, folks, the Pestilence, who's in our chat room, they got 10, they're telling me, as well. So there's folks in the chat room that did pretty well. How did you do? How did you do, Mrs. Wiley? Again, want to thank our music from the VW Boys is our background music. So thank you, boys, for playing for us. That was the Mockingbird, by the way, is what that is that we're playing. So, folks, how did you do? I hope you enjoyed this. This is a lot of fun to me. Just kind of going through the episodes and thinking about them. It brings back great memories from the Andy Griffith Show. And now I want to go watch it. And now I really want to go and listen to the episode I did before and see what I told in there, because I must have told some different stuff. In 2 years, I can evidently forget whatever I talked about. So this is pretty good. It's like I can go back and listen to all my shows, and they'll all be new for me. And I'll be like, that guy, he's pretty good. I don't remember any of this. Maybe I should do that. So, folks, hey, I want to thank you for being here with me. I would love to hear from you. You can give me a call at 888-684-8415 and let me know what you think, what you like about the podcast, events that you may have been to recently or some that you're fixing to head to. I'd love to hear from you, and so would all the other folks listening to the podcast. You can email me at floyd@imayberry.com or give me that call. If you can't remember the stuff, head over to twochairsnowaiting.com, and the information's all right there about how to contact the podcast or me. So, folks, thanks for being here with me, and thanks for spending time in Mayberry, and we will see you next week right here on Two Chairs. Good night, everybody.